Hey guys, it's James Crew here from Viavita, and in this short video I'm going to talk to you about our top tips for optimizing your overall health during these upcoming winter months. We're going to touch upon three main areas, with the first one being how you exercise during this time of the year. Very simply, there are three key areas that we want to touch upon and we want to talk about that are the best ways for you to really make sure you follow the correct exercise plan. The first one being, try to keep your exercise short and as simplistic as possible. And that really means just the same way as you would do for any time during the year, make sure you're increasing or maintaining a high level of daily movement. So whether that's getting off a stop early on the bus and walking the rest of your journey to work, whether that's making sure you spend 15 to 30 minutes during your lunch break going out for a walk, whether that's taking the stairs instead of the escalator in your office building a couple of times a day. Anything that is going to increase your overall daily movement really is going to be a key to success during these winter months. You don't need to spend hours and hours slogging yourself to death at the gym. You really don't need expensive equipment. It is a case of just making sure your body is moving as often as possible. So that's point number one. Point number two, if you have the capacity, make sure you're trying to train in the mornings as opposed to the evenings. Now, we all know getting up in the morning can be a little bit challenging. It is dark, it is cold, but I would still say it's far easier than having to train in the evening when you're tired, when your motivation levels are at an all-time low, and when you probably have other commitments, whether that's family, friends, or even work assignments. So if you have that capacity, get yourself up in the morning, set your alarm, get everything set up, make sure you plan ahead so that you really can just seamlessly get out of bed, get your workout done, and then it's out of the way and it sets you up with your energy levels for the rest of the day. Chances are you'll probably make better choices throughout that day, and that's going to help with your overall optimal health during the winter months. And the third point, and this again is a really important point, try to find someone who can act as a bit of an accountability buddy for you. Now, whether that's a friend, a family member, a colleague, someone that might either hold you accountable by sending you a text first thing in the morning to let you know that you should be up and exercising, or whether it's someone that you can actually go to a gym class with once a week. When you share that accountability, it really is going to elevate your opportunity and your chances for success overall. So your three main points, just to recap. First one, keep your exercise short and simple. Point number two, if you have the capacity, train in the morning when the energy levels are going to be higher as opposed to training in the evening. And the third point, accountability buddy, someone who's going to help you share that success. So those are the three main points to exercising with pure efficiency during the winter months. So the next part, with regards to maintaining your optimal health during the winter months, is how you optimize immune health. Now, this can be quite a contentious subject, but there are a couple of key things that you want to be doing in order to support your immune system. It's the time of the year when people really do get run down, they get tired, they get unwell. So these top tips are just going to help tip the scales in your favor with regards to keeping your immune system as strong and as functioning as well as possible. So the first point, and this goes throughout the whole course of the year, but definitely during the winter months, is making sure you get enough sleep. Sleep really is incredibly important. We need to be looking for at least 6 to 8 hours at a minimum per evening. So that's a case of really setting yourself up for success, making sure everything's done by a certain point of time in the evening, and then making sure you understand each day when you get up that you've got plenty of time to get ready, so you have this window of opportunity during the evening where you can really just put your head down, not think about things, and just make sure you're optimizing your sleep pattern. So sleep is one of the most important things for overall immune health. The second point then, and again, this carries on all the way throughout the year, is making sure you stay consistently hydrated. So hydration can affect energy levels, performance, can affect skin health, skin quality, and really if you're not keeping yourself hydrated, your energy levels are going to be incredibly low. And during those winter months, if your energy levels are incredibly low, the chances of you then picking up some form of infection by way of a cold or a flu are really exponentially increased. So make sure it's such a simple task. Make sure you're drinking at least a couple of liters of water per day. And then the third point is making sure that your nutrition is tailored to supporting your immune function. So whether that's making sure your protein levels are really high, that helps and aids with regards to lean muscle tissue, and whether that's you eating plenty of lean white meats or fish, or if you're a vegetarian, making sure you're getting other sources of protein in your diet, whether that's things like tofu, whether that's things like eggs. Making sure you have enough lean protein in your diet really is going to help with the building blocks for maintaining lean muscle tissue. And the leaner we are, the more muscle tissue we have, the stronger and more efficiently our bodies function. And then alongside that, making sure your vitamin levels are as optimized as possible is another incredibly important way for supporting immune health. And most of the vitamins we can get through food. So when you start talking about things like vitamin C, which is probably one of the most important vitamins for immune function, we know that we can get that through different types of fruits, whether that's through strawberries, through oranges, through grapes. So making sure you're getting plenty of fruit throughout the course of the winter is really important. You then have things like vitamin E, which again, because of the levels of antioxidants, are going to help with immune function. So nuts, spinach are all examples of vitamin E. Make sure you get enough of those in your diet. Then you even have vitamins like vitamin D, which unfortunately you can't really get through food. And we know that vitamin D primarily is driven through sunlight, and obviously throughout the course of the winter months in the UK, you're going to struggle to get the levels of sunlight you need. So that's probably going to be a vitamin that you need to supplement with as an additional supplement. That's altogether is really going to help your immune system function as well as possible. So just reviewing those key areas. First one, remember, making sure you're getting enough sleep throughout the course of the winter months. Making sure you stay hydrated, and then making sure your nutrition is tailored to helping your immune function through the winter months. If you manage to hit all of those topics, you're going to really increase your opportunity to stay fit and healthy rather than picking up these horrible infections and illnesses that none of us like catching throughout the winter months. Okay, so the third topic that I want to talk about with regards to optimal health during the winter months is the dreaded word that everyone hates to hear, and that's motivation, and the motivation to stay on top of things. So how do we improve, how do we increase, how do we maintain motivation, depending on who we are as people? We know that it's important, we know it's something we need to focus on, but it really is a little bit more complex than just saying, yep, okay, I'm either a motivated person or I'm not a motivated person. We need to put a couple of key areas and elements in place in order to make sure we're set up for success. That first one, always the most important one, is setting clear, manageable, accountable driven goals that we know we can achieve. So they need to be realistic. So whether that's saying that I know I'm going to train a couple of times per week, whether it's saying I'm going to set up my meals throughout the course of the week, or whether that's saying in a couple of months down the line, I want to be here, whereas now I'm here. Whatever it is and however which way you do it, you need to set really strong goals. There is a ton of research out there that says the most successful people in any given field are the ones that set the best goals and they have a clear process in place in order to hit those goals. So point number one, without question, is make sure you set yourself some clear goals. The second point, it's really important that you set goals, but without question, you need to have a structure and a process in place that allows you to actually hit those goals. So planning ahead, creating a process, and eliminating barriers is the next point. So again, whether that's you saying, okay, well, I know I want to train 3 times a week. So what you need to do, you need to set a process of making sure your training gear is out on the bed the night before, or whether that's saying I know for a fact that I normally snooze my first alarm, so I'm going to set 3 alarms in a row, or I'm going to put my phone outside of my bedroom so I know that I need to get up when my alarm goes off. Whatever it is, you need to have a really set process that means you've eliminated as many of the barriers as possible that allow you to be successful. It's not a problem to say that there are certain things that can distract us and pull us away from our goals. Even if we have incredibly clear goals, sometimes there are going to be certain things in place that pull us away from wanting to achieve those. So just make sure you eliminate those barriers and you have a clear process. That's the key to ultimately habit forming. And we know that habit forming is the ultimate key to success when it comes to goal achievement. So that's point number 2, is setting a process to build habits. And then point number 3, and this is something that a lot of people miss, is actually the ability to reward yourself. So it's all well and good setting great goals. It's all well and good being really diligent on the process, eliminating all those barriers and working really hard in order to achieve those goals. But if you don't reward yourself at the end of it, then you're going to really struggle to see the benefit of what you've done. You're going to then end up becoming resentful, and you're going to end up chasing just goal after goal after goal and actually finding no enjoyment in that. So whether or not that's you saying that I'm going to do this for the next 6 weeks and then I'm going to treat myself to a night out with friends, with family, or I'm going to book into a spa for a weekend when I've achieved the weight loss or the strength goal or the nutrition goal that I want to achieve, just make sure you're experimenting with different rewards that are going to really make you realize how hard you've worked and make you feel great about all of the work that you're actually doing. So those 3 points again, just to recap with regards to motivation. First one, set clear and manageable goals. Point number 2, make sure you've got a process in place where you eliminate the barriers in order to build and form great habits. And point number 3, enjoy yourself and reward yourself for all of this work you're putting in place. I promise if you hit those points, motivation will come really easily and you'll make sure that you hit all of your optimal health goals throughout the course of those winter months.